So, hello everyone. Thank you for your presence. My name is Narayan Inder Singh. Everybody can hear me okay? Is everything fine? Great. So my name is Narayan Inder Singh. I'm from Seva course, and I'm going to take care of our technical issues of our virtual room today. So if you are having any difficulties during the sessions, please do not hesitate to privately reach out to me. Also, if you have any questions for the guests, feel free to share in the Zoom chat. Now, I would like to take a moment to recognize the rich indigenous history of our lands. I'm speaking to you from Brazil and from the ancestral homeland of the Caiapós, Araxás, and Bororós of Minas Gerais state. Let this land acknowledgement be an opening for all of us to contemplate a way to join in the colonial and indigenous movements of self-determination. I will briefly introduce Seva course and Chine Chat, so I won't take too much time from our guests. So Seva course has a purpose to serve who are serving. We seek to value, nurture, and inspire those in service through the technology of Kundalini Yoga and the legacy of Sikh Dharma in an elevated environment of listening and sharing. We also produce contents about the conception of Seva, highlighting ongoing Seva projects and inspire new ones. Above all, we want to offer spaces for a dialogue and inclusion of those projects. And that's what Chine Chat here today, it's all about. It's an open space created by us, Seva course teams, that seeks to connect people from different places around the theme of Seva, a place to inspire people by exchange experience and sharing knowledge that can support others in their services. This edition is being hosted in partnership with IKTA, International Kundalini Yoga Teachers Association, as part of this event, the 3-Jot Equinox. If you think we can help your Seva projects in any way, please visit our website at the link that I'm going to share at the chat and reach out to us for more information. I now pass the floor to the IKTA representative and our partner today as the room mediator, Sukpran. Thank you and have a nice chat.
Thanks, Narayan Inder, Satnam, and hello, everyone. I'm Sukpran from the IKTA team, and so happy to be here and always to join together across the globe with you. And this is a great opportunity to hear more about, the specialized areas that we participate in this group of as Kundalini yogis, and gain tips on maybe, we're interested in bringing yoga into prisons and can really gain some resources here. So IKTA is collaborating with Seva Corps and also other groups to bring resources and information events and trainings and things like that to you. So if you're interested in learning more about those programs and resources, you can also follow us at our Facebook page or Instagram, or sign up for the monthly newsletter at ikta.org, IKYTA.org. So welcome today, and this project is near and dear to my heart also, as I serve in the prisons locally here in Vermont. But these women are part of a group in Peru that have been bringing Kundalini Yoga classes into prisons as a project since 2009. And they offer inmates in Lima Kundalini Yoga practice as a tool to promote healthcare and provide support to deal with freedom deprivation. So I'm really honored to introduce the two presenters today. And the first participant, Guru Shabad Kaur, is a visual artist, art teacher, and Kundalini Yoga instructor. She lives and works in Lima, Peru. For her, these two areas to which she dedicates herself blend wonderfully in her life, being investigation paths of the mind and body. She has been participating in this Seva for 7 years by invitation of the already existing group of Sevadars of the project Kundalini Yoga for incarcerated women in Peru. This Seva teaches her to listen, to give, and receive, disarming preconceived ideas. Welcome, Guru Shabad. And the next presenter is Santok Kaur. She's a business administrator, Kundalini Yoga instructor, transpersonal and mindfulness consultant for business companies and organizations. She currently lives in Italy, but is originally from Peru. She's one of the founders of the project Kundalini Yoga for incarcerated women in Peru and has been involved since its beginning in 2009, 12 years ago. Serving and teaching are the two driving forces of her life. For her, the greatest gift is to be able to give these women the opportunity to connect with their own strength. Welcome, Santok Kaur, and we'll hand it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would like to tell you how does Seva come into life. 12 years ago, a group of Kundalini Yoga instructors planned the agenda of Guru Bachan Singh in Peru on the occasion of his annual trip to Latin America. We thought it will be a good idea to take Kundalini Yoga teachings to 2 women prisons in Lima. These visits touch deeply our hearts and show us how much we could bring into this space. After a few weeks, we were surprisingly quickly approved for our entry into these 2 jails as teachers. So a group of 10 women instructors began to teach. In the following years, the group of teachers has varied, but the mission of the Seva has remained intact.
Hello, thank you, Santok, and hello, everybody. Thank you for having us here. So I will follow sharing with you about some aspects of how we think that this Seva has gotten to endure for such a long time. We already have 12 years serving, 12 or 13, I think this is our 13th year. So I want to talk about 2 things. I want to talk about the power of community and also the gift of Seva. So I'll start by the power of community because we are a group of Sevadars who participate of this project. We are 10, or now we are 8, but we have always been a kind of a large group, and that means a great support. It's a source of great support, but also of challenge. And this is where the power of what I call the power of community work comes in, regarding the possibility to grow in group consciousness. For example, whenever we have a problem or a challenge, we like to talk about it and get the best of the diversity of the group, because every mind has a framework and a point of view. And then we all try to pitch in, and from that we start working and taking the decisions. In that frame of mind, we have always been in the search for small projects to keep up with the larger project. For example, master classes given by the Kundalini Yoga teachers that visit us in Lima, Peru, but also doctors and professionals from other arenas. And I would like to name them, to honor them now. This would be Gurudev, El Güero from Mexico, Namnidam Kaur, Sajiwan Kaur, Gurudasha Singh, Guru Bachan Singh, which was the first one to open up the work in the penitentiaries, Ardhan Singh from Germany, Gurudas Singh, Lola Espi from the Kundalini Yoga Teachers Group, and from the doctors and other professionals, I would like to name Dr. Sacha Barrios and Dr. Jose Luis Perez Alvela. Also, another small project that we have going on all the time is research. We're always looking for the best ways to connect with the inmates as of the Kundalini Yoga exercises, meditations, and work we do with them. And we're always sharing what worked best and what were the reactions. In that line of work, we developed a Kundalini Yoga handbook, specially designed for them. So when we're not there, they can have something to work with that's been taught specially for them. And that work took us 2 years to do. We had interviews with them, and we really worked very tightly with the inmates and among us to reach that point. And then I think every Seva work, everyone that does Seva work finds that there is a gift working with any community. This is a very specific community that has put each one of us into a personal growth path and confrontation. And I would like to share what mine has been. For me, it always has to do with breaking my own thought patterns, especially that of commitment to something that is strong, to a strong feeling, to a strong call, right? And that most of the time calls for like shying away from the commitment. So every time we have to like commit again and start again, or like be willing to undergo the commitment or the sharing space. So as teachers, I find that we always commit and compromise with students, but these are no regular students, because they have been let down by society and by themselves, by their own families many times. And also they have let down others. And this makes up part of what they think they are. They can have, through the Kundalini Yoga class and through the time it takes, they can have the experience of being able to commit, if only to one exercise, if only to one meditation. And with time, I have found that that space of being able to experience that commitment can go into other spaces of their lives, and that my own shying of commitment is theirs. That what I feel in my flesh is also what they feel in their flesh, and it helps me to understand them with compassion and a little bit more patience. Santok, maybe you want to share your...
Yeah, thanks. This Seva showed me as a perfect mirror how reactive I can be in the face of injustice and inefficiency. For a long period of time, I was totally intolerant of all inefficiency of the Peruvian penitentiary system. This gave me the opportunity to observe myself, to develop patience and tolerance. On the other hand, it made me even more compassionate with the students, as I knew they were victims of all this, no, of injustice and inefficiency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next, we thought we might talk about how Kundalini Yoga, how we perceive that Kundalini Yoga practice helps the inmates with deprivation of freedom, and how Kundalini Yoga practice helps them to promote and open their perspectives, to clear their minds, to heal in a broader way, to have resilience, to move on. And for that, in order to talk about that, we will speak about very specific examples. And we will, Santok and I will take turns. So I want to talk about one very simple example, which comes from the class situation. And we have been able to observe how when the class starts, the inmates are restless, they're uncomfortable, they are talkative, they're even ashamed. It's like a weird energy. And as the class starts and they undergo the yoga practice, especially when we start with the pranayamas is a very pacifying moment, the time of the pranayama. At first they open their eyes, they're like, what's going on? And then finally they like bow to the pranayama, and that breathing energy is what takes them through the class. And we find that energy is transformed, that emotions get balanced. And when the class is finished, there is more respect between them. They get quieter, they can meditate. And also the policewomen that take care of them are very quiet also. They don't think they need to be pushing them around. Because the group is like in another state of mind, and everybody is more tranquil.
Okay, in the other hand, this practice allowed them to discover that there is an immense interior space within each one. That space here can allow them to experience freedom, a freedom that is not physical, but spiritual, emotional, and mental. In addition, through practice, they understand that we are all unit and that our links vary a lot depending on where we connect with ourselves and with the others.
Exactly. And I think that also happens because every time the Kundalini Yoga practice occurs in real time, every day, even if you repeat the exercises, each day is that day, right? So the exercise is done in that moment, not yesterday, not tomorrow. And so each student, each teacher can observe in his or her own body, in his or her own mind, that experience of not being the same every day, not being the same person every day. And we feel that simple thing can be very liberating, because it permits anybody to think that I am not the person that I was yesterday, and I'm not the person that I will be tomorrow. And that leaves us with a growing space, or a changing, or permits us to connect with that changing dimension that every human being has within. Mm-hmm.
So connecting with this inner space and to be present, connect to the present, they begin able to connect with their inner strength. Because I love this, no? So they have the opportunity to relate to themselves, to people, and to life in a different way. Faced with the challenge of living without freedom, appears the great opportunity to be free personality. At the end, no, they become free. They are in a jail, but in themselves, they are free.
Mm-hmm. And the last point we want to refer to is how we always talk about this in the group, the teachers, how when we start the class, when we're before this group of women, they really are only a group of women. They are not they're not people that have committed crimes for us. You just see them like a group of women, and as so they are treated by us. They're not treated as inmates, as like the policeman treats them, but they're treated as a group of women, and as a group of human beings. And during this hour and a half, the class that we stay with them during the class, they can dwell in a space where they are not being judged, where there are no labels upon their foreheads. Each and every one of them is treated with dignity. And that is something that we can really see. And at the end of the class, they can look at our eyes, and when they thank us, they feel like, you know, they can relate in a different way as when the class started. They can look to your eyes and look up, but not with, no, I don't have the word in English. They look up like with, I don't know, sensibility. Yeah.
Without a label also, no?
Yeah, without a label.
So I would like to share with you a testimony of one of our students. It's a testimony given to us by students on 2019. This testimony has included in a memorial report that we elaborate for our 10th anniversary of service, with the intention to sharing the voices of some of the main beneficiaries of Kundalini Yoga, so that the impact of this Seva on persons could be better appreciated. So I will read it. Anchor, guide, support, joy, relief, calm, tranquility, awakening of conscience, love, and life. These are and many more things which I cannot express with words, is what the continuous practice of Kundalini Yoga has given me and continues to give me during the 10 years that I have had the joy of making it part of my daily life, and with the certainty that I will continue to be so.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
These testimonies were given to us by many of the inmates. Some are longer, some are shorter. Some of them really, it took them really so much time and effort to put into words. But most of them gave us their testimony, and that is part of we shared some of them in the Kundalini Yoga handbook that we prepared, and we also put them into this memorial report, which we also shared with some institutions nationwide in order to share our work and have some institutions help us economically. Yeah. So next, we would like to talk of the challenges we have had with the pandemics, challenges we have in the present, and also next steps of the project, how we think the project might go into the future. So I think for everybody, for most of us, pandemics has put us, confronted us with internet and technology. And this is not a different arena. Internet and technology have been a big source of possibilities. For example, it permitted us to reach a larger community, which has been some very special thing for us. In our regular service, we would presentially go to the penitentiary places and give our classes. But with the pandemics, Peru was shut down almost for 2 years. And we, of course, couldn't go to the jails. We couldn't go in. And so after like a year and a half almost, they finally could engage with technology, and they could finally have the Zoom running for us to meet. I think they had to go many bureaucratic things also because of the privacy that they're used to having in the jails. So this has permitted us, the Zoom platform has permitted us to give classes not only to one jail, but to many at the same time. So that has been like groundbreaking for us, because now we give classes sometimes to 5, 6, or 7 jails at the same time. Thanks God, the groups are not too large. They're more or less 10, 15, 20, but no more than that. So we have like 5 or 6 screens with 10 or 15 people at the same time, which at the first time was very surprising, but also made us so happy because we couldn't believe we could get in touch with so many people and share the teachings with so many people at the same time. So one upside of technology is also been that the inmates have been able to meet by Zoom with members of their family that they had not seen for long periods of time. They were able to have reunions and meet with people of their family. So as I said before, this Zoom platform has posed very many challenges, like not knowing who the students will be, not knowing them in person, if they will be all female or if we will have males, because ever since this opportunity opened, also we have male students. From which part of the country they will be coming from, because Peru is a large country. We have a coastline, we have highlands, and we have the jungle. And we have the people the jails that participate come from the 3 regions, from northern Peru, from southern Peru, from all parts. So there's a great diversity. And that diversity is the big unknown that is up there. Every time you open your Zoom to give your class, you don't really know who's going to be there. So not knowing who the students will be, we don't know the practice level before we will give the class. So we have to be prepared to give like a more challenging class or a less difficult one. And that has also been very interesting because we have realized that difficulty for them doesn't have to do with how difficult the physical exercises are, but how difficult mentally they are, how challenging mentally they are, how much time they have to do the pranayamas or the meditation. They would rather only do physical exercise, and the harder the better, because they feel, I guess they feel they can move their hormone, their adrenal system, they can move energy, right? And the tranquil spaces of yoga are more challenging. And well, I think the last thing is the same for all of us that have used technologies in these times, is not having our bodies in the same room. To give a Kundalini Yoga class, that is a big one, because I think we all have had to develop other ways of feeling the group. We have had to develop other senses, like an 8th sense, to know how the group is doing, to be able to feel the group. And finally, we were also talking about how even when we have technology, and this permits many things, technology seems not to have put an end to the pandemic's isolation and a physical isolation. Since for us it's been so long, we really want to get in touch in person. So we don't know how this is going to evolve in time. Probably next week we will be able to start going again to one of the penitentiaries. And that will be the first time after 2.5 years after the pandemic started. But we are very happy that we will be able to go. We were invited to go for the Kundalini Yoga International Day. That was the first time, and I went to give the class, and it was so touching to see this group of women really waiting and so ready for their class. They were so happy to receive me as the teacher that was going to give the class, and they shared with me that they had been doing their practice and that they really needed back. It was very, very nice to get in touch with them again, for me and for them. So now Santok will talk to us about the next steps of the project.
Thank you. Thanks of the pandemic, this year we have started, as Guru Shabbat says, to give virtual classes in the same class. So we want to, now we see the need to travel to these different cities in Peru so that students can experience the richness of a face class. And later to invite foreign teachers to accompany us to other cities in the country. So that is one step. The second is seek funding or donations that may allow us to achieve these new objectives of the Seva. And the third is that invite new instructor to teach more hours weekly. So with this, we finish this part. We invite you if you have some questions or comments.
Yeah, if anybody of you from the audience have anything you wanna like go further into, if you have specific questions, we would be more than happy to share. We didn't want to be like very long in our presentation, so maybe you have questions that spring up. Nobody yet.
Thank you so much, Santok and Guru Shabad. Kar, I have a question to start us off, and I'm curious how, or if you know, if inmates continue their practice after they're released from prison and in their home areas. And I think you said that you print material for them while they're in prison. Are they able to take those out of the prison when they leave? And what does it look like on the when they leave the prison facilities?
Yeah, sure. We can share about that. We have a very special case. We have, yeah, maybe you want to share some talk because you know her. Yeah.
Okay. One of our students go out from the jail and we help them to study to be a Kundalini teacher. So he became to be Kundalini teacher, and she began to teach. After a while, because in Peru it's not so good, so easy. When you come out of the jail, you don't have so many support of the government. So she was involved in another problem, and she came back to the jail. So she was a very hard practicant, and I think she's already free, and she works with the Kundalini Yoga. And I think in the students, there are some students that they practice every day, and the others that only practice when we will go and we do the class. No, so we have another like Seva that is also very nice. We support a daughter of one of our students. This student is in the jail for more than 15 years, I think more than 20, and she doesn't know when if she's going to go out of the jail. So we support her daughter to study at a Peruvian university, a private university. We want part of a group that helped her. So she already finished her career. At the beginning, he would like to study to be a doctor, but it was so long, too expensive. So she studied part of them, and right now she's working right now. We get when is her birthday or some special days, we we try to be near her, so the family is bigger, or
A larger family.
a
for her.
larger, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So
Yeah, we have been close to her when she moved out of her small place. Also, when she needed to buy books for the, yeah. Did she finally ended being a nurse, because she took the medicine, general
no,
medicine
it's not
classes.
nurse. It's like Rex, rayos X.
X-ray
X-ray.
technician.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So, yes, we do have many people, and now I'm going to refer to the inmates, if they practice or not practice while we're not there. We only get to teach them once a week. We wish it could be more. Maybe with time we can get to that. But by the time being, we only go once a week. And I know there are like 2 or 3 people that are very strong in their practice. I'm going to speak especially of the jail where I used to go, where I'm used to going. So 2 or 3 of them are very strong, and they're like the leaders of the group. And for example, when the pandemics was on and nobody could go and give the class, and no Zoom classes either, they would teach the class with the handbooks that they had. And you also asked about the handbooks, Sukram. They have them in the library. They don't take them home, because our jails are very poor. They are very wild, if you permit. They are like, chaotic. So everything gets stolen and lost inside the jail. So the handbooks they can take out, use, and then they give them back to the library, to the librarian. They also, we try to take books every time we have books, we take them Kundalini Yoga books, so they can have things to read. Some of the inmates do read also the handbooks and other books that we have left, and take them as an inspiration. Yeah.
And also a few years ago, we decided also to give some of them special lessons, just to teach them how to work like a teacher, no? So they have like more
special preparation.
Yeah. Yes. So we also work on it a lot of years ago. So these people can also teach the other when we are not there. But sometimes it's not so easy, because they should work in the jail, and they don't have so many
hours free. Yeah, free hours for themselves.
3 hours. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not so easy, but there are some doing it. No?
Yeah. The conditions in the Peruvian jails are very poor, and everything is constantly changing. Also because as our governments are constantly changing ideas, then those ideas need to get implemented in the jails, and structures are changing all the time. For example, if we're supposed to teach in a specific room, then maybe one day we get there and the room is being taken by some other thing, and we need to teach in a patio, or at some point we had to teach in the patio next to the kitchen. And so there was all this kitchen noise and the smells, and all the people from the kitchen with their talk, and we were next to them with our talk and with our mantras. But it worked. Okay, we had to be very tolerant, but at some point we thought, so these mantras, everybody can listen to them. It's not only for the people that are taking the class. And also in that patio, there was this tall building with windows that everybody could listen to the music. So we thought, okay, this is a gift of being in the patio. Let's
just to learn to be concentrate in yourself, no?
Yes.
because we have a lot of time is music outside, and they're like upset. Why in our yoga hour, no? So we tell them that it's part of life, and we should work with that, no?
Yeah,
Just
we need to. Yeah,
that is rubbish. That it's outside. You go in and listen yourself, no?
yeah,
And connect where you are doing. What is outside is not important. So go in, no? Go in. So this confront you, but also teach you that that you can do it, no?
Maybe that's what I was referring to before when I was talking about the Kundalini Yoga class, the specific moment of the class as a place to really be able to have experiences of freedom, you know, and Santok also talked about that, how instead of shying away the noises, or you need to integrate and make them part of the reality, and have both things together and decide how you want to feel about it. You have the power to decide if you want to be upset, or if you're okay, if you can integrate. And every class poses a possibility to talk about this, because every class has a challenge to it, and or maybe a specific exercise, you know, to be able to break through our own minds and decide how you want to live the experience. You can live the experience from the mind frame that you decide you want to have. And for that also, Kundalini Yoga is a great instrument. It's a powerful
Also,
instrument.
I think one thing that we didn't say is that a lot they are very sad, and they're very angry to be in the jail, no, and they don't accept their new reality. So Kundalini Yoga helped them just to accept that they are there, and they should learn another way to life. So I remember a specific lesson that we do a workshop, and I decided to speak about something that I was that I read from Kundalini Yoga, how to the art of living, no? So it's not so easy to tell someone that is in a jail that they must to be happy with their new life, no? So, but in this workshop, I work a lot with them. At the beginning, they were very angry with me, what I was telling them. And at the end, they understood that it's very important to accept that this is their new reality, and also their new home and new family. So after they realize that they are a new family, and family also always can take care of you, give you love and compression or support. So they began to change their relationship between them, no, and help to feel that they have like a family outside the jail and another inside that you can take care and love, no? So there is very also very a good teaching and gift from the classes, no?
Thank you so much. And if anyone would like to ask a question, you can raise your hand in the reactions from the reactions box, or just open your microphone and ask a question. So let's see if anyone has any questions.
I think Sujan is trying to make a question. Yes, you were muted, Sujan.
Okay. Satnam, thank you for being here. It's so emotional. It's so amazing to have this possibility to hear the experience of this project. So thank you for Santok and Guru Javad and all the team. So we know a little bit about the history because we are from Seva Corps, but I want to know a little bit more about how do you maintain the project? I mean, it's really so exceptional for us and in general to know a project that maintain the Seva project along 12 years, this 12 years also. And you speak a little about the experience in during the pandemic, but I can imagine that the first year, especially 2020, was very chaotic because was unexpected. So I want to know a little bit more about that in this year. I mean, how do you maintain the project during pandemic? Or this woman maintain the practice, or you maintain the contact in this first year? So I want to know a little bit about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujan. Okay. I think the first year, as for everybody around the world, first year was trying to figure out how to survive for everybody, how to get in touch with your loved ones, and how to get in touch. Just that, which we take for granted. So getting in touch with the inmates was not easy at all. The government shut it down very, very hard. And we have a person, which is our contact person, Carlos, and he works in throughout all the penitentiary services in Peru, especially in Lima. And we would always contact him on the phone and ask about how they were doing. We were so worried with healthcare, if they were getting enough medical services, if they were really, if there were many of them dying inside and we didn't know about it. We were very distressed because we couldn't have a first-hand information. It was very hard for us because we knew conditions around the world in like Peruvian hospitals were very harsh also. We didn't have enough beds, we didn't have enough room for everybody. So we could imagine that the same was happening inside the jails, and it did. It was bad. So what we decided we could do and how we could help is we started sending them face masks and Tylenol and anything we thought could help in the sanitation process, alcohol and anything we thought could be good. So for that, it was very beautiful. We received donations, and it was very touching for us to know that the people, that our families and our friends that already knew, for some of them, it was new that we worked in the jails, because as we had talked to Supram about, this is a very silent work that we do. We don't advertise it at all. So even for some of our friends, it was new that we worked there, but they were. I think the pandemics made us realize that the Peruvian soul is a very giving soul. That Peruvian communities are very tight. And I think that comes from our highland communities. That's the way they survive all the time. When there's too much cold, when there's hunger, when there are floods, every time they get together and they work as a group. And they do this very beautiful thing. They cook food for everybody together when there is a crisis. So I think that we have that in our souls, in our country soul, in our, I don't know how to say
Cultural.
it. Yeah, cultural. So when you find out that somebody is having a very bad time, then you help, you give of what you have. We receive very, very many donations of clothing, for example, and yeah. And we also started a different Seva to help the immigrants, the Venezuelan immigrants, which were having a very bad time because they didn't have houses, they didn't have where to live. And you could see groups of immigrants walking through the main highways of Lima, trying to get out of Lima because Lima was too bad to be in. So we would bring food to them every day for like a month, and that was a part of a Peruvian Kundalini Yoga Seva also. And so thank you for the question, Sujan, because I think it's made me think of how this response to help is an inherent part of the Peruvian cultural mindset. We are very chaotic and very terrible in other aspects, but we are all very very close to each other when it needs to be. Yeah, maybe you want to share something else and talk. I'm sorry, I talked so much.
It's okay. No, I don't know. You already told everything, so it's okay. I don't know if someone want to say something, or we can also tell them what we want to share to the end.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question
Okay,
for you
okay.
guys. I was thinking about what you guys share about the building, about the space of the prison, right? The cells. And it came to my mind, like how Kundalini Yoga can change the perspective of those inmates, and how these spaces can be transformed to a wider a space which is built for imprisoned people. Those space can be like a space that promotes a different perspective, so those inmates can see that space not as in prison. They are in prison, but I mean we can transform as a mindset those places. And then I thought, have you ever did the Kundalini Yoga practice in the cell? Because I believe that you guys have this specific places that you go and do the classes, but in the cell it's impossible, or in the patio, or something like related to this chaotic place that you guys share with us.
No, in the cells it's impossible. It's not permitted. But when you was speaking, I was thinking something that we didn't say, and I think it's important. We also give lessons to some police and administration staff in the jails. So I think the change could be when everyone will practice, no? And we discovered that the police that works in the jails needs more help than
the inmates.
That was an incredible
Yes.
discovery, because they are so how to say,
uptight. They're
uptight.
So they are always
attempt, no? Always alert, and their nervous system are collapsed. So it was very interesting to teach them, and I think they began also to respect the space. We like teachers, because it's very. I was telling about that. It's not so easy to come in to the jail every day that you went there to give a lesson, no? You have so many inconvenients to go in. That's why I was so angry for a long time. So it was also very hard to me to see how intolerant I was, how angry I was. But I think everything changed when we began to work not only with the inmates, also with the police, and also with the administration staff, no? So
I find going into the jail is something like comparable to, of course, going into a huge public school, but also like when you have to travel and you have to go through immigration and you have to go through wherever when they check your bags, I can't recall how it's called, and you never know how the people taking care of that are gonna react. For example, if you forgot to take your water bottle out, and sometimes they will bark at you and they will scream and be so mad. Sometimes they will just take the bottle out and say, okay, let's run through it again. But that specific time can take anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour and a half. And then maybe you're late to class because they took so long, because they didn't have the papers ready, because even though you had your papers, they just took time doing other things, or there were other things going on. Sometimes in a jail, if they have big things going on, the small things shut down because they have to take care of the other things, which is understandable. So going to work in the jail is a huge unknown. You never know how it's really going to work. Really, you don't know. Sometimes when we're giving classes, our students get called to go and take care of things, or go and talk to their lawyer or to the doctor. So the class space is not like a regular class space where the student decides to be there, because they're not owners of their life. They have to do what they're being told to do. And also, as Santok was saying, words that we usually use during class, like relax, close your eyes, and let go, are almost impossible to bear, to think about for them, because they're so I mean, I can only imagine, ever since they get into the jail, they never close their eyes again, because their lives are in danger, because they need to be alert all the time in order to survive. So the Kundalini Yoga class, whenever we see them all in Shavasana, laying down and taking a rest all together, and it's really like a magic moment it's a gift, really. It really is a special moment for them. And for them, as I said earlier on, most of these tranquil moments are the hardest ones. They get up, they're restless, and eventually they bow, they like let go.
And also a beautiful thing is that with a time you see how they used to use new words like peace, patient, gratitude, some words that in the past was like unknown. They integrate in their life. No, they began to be grateful, to accept, to confiar es I don't know the words. So to
Trust. Yeah.
in themselves, in their life, in the others. So that's another thing that the practice gives you, no, with the time. That is very important also.
And I also
the language and the words create your reality also, no? So if you change your language, you change also part of your reality.
I wanted to answer also to your question, Narayan. It came to my mind how we all during the pandemics and we all being confined have had the opportunity to experience a jail, how it is not to be able to go out, how it is not to be free, not to be able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, and not to be able to be close to your loved ones, or, well, all the difficulties that this posed to every citizen around the world. So I think that having had that experience, it's been a gift for every citizen of the world to be able to regard the jail inmates in a more compassionate way, because now we have had the experience. We know a little bit how it feels, just a little bit, because I don't think we can even get close to what they live. But we have also been without freedom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any questions? Another questions? I don't know. Thank you, Sital, Prem, and Shabbat for your.
I have another question that's a little practical in the sense of, if you know this, I think maybe Santok, you were there at the beginning, but how did you approach the prisons and originally bring the classes into the prison? Were there already yoga classes there, or did you have to start on your own?
I didn't understand the question. I get.
I'm going to translate. I'm going to go translate really quick. Como tú estabas ahí al comienzo, cuando fue Guru Bachan la primera vez, ¿cómo fue cómo fueron las situaciones que tuvieron que vencer para poder llevar el Kundalini a un lugar como la cárcel? Si ya habían experiencias de yoga antes, si ya se conocía el yoga, ¿fue difícil, fue fácil? ¿Cómo lo hicieron?
One of the group knew this Carlos that works for a long time in different jails of Lima. He organized like art groups, and he helped us to take Guru Bachan into the jail. It was a very, very incredible experience, because at this time the jails of Peru have a very huge population.
They are overpopulated.
Yes, it was horrible. So the first day that we went there, I remember that I felt that it was to come back to India. It was so noisy. So many people, so
chaotic.
It was incredible. But Guru Bachan began the class, the meditation, and it was incredible how the women go in the meditation, and how the energy of the space changes so quickly, so nice. And for us was incredible, because Guru Bachan always, when he went to Latin America, he says that the trip name is Guru Randa's trip, no?
Tour.
So,
yeah.
Tour.
Yeah.
So we felt that this energy of Guru Randas and Guru Bachan helped us to open the space, because it was so easy to open it. After 2 or 3 weeks, we were there teaching, no? And that is not so easy for the jails in Peru, no? It was like, wow, how easy. Then became the
to sustain. Yeah.
Yes.
To sustain.
So because Guru Bachan was saying that sometimes they take us to the to the patio or to the near the kitchen. But in the beginning, they also take us to the rubbish space.
Yeah.
So it was a very horrible smell, a very huge space, but we continues and continues. And I think this Seva touched our hearts, and I think it became to be part of our lives. And also for me, the space that where I learn more in all my life, no, because you have so many
Challenges.
that and it confronts you, no. So I was telling me, you are the teacher, the yoga teacher, you can be so intolerant, but I was seeing me and I was so hungry. And I'm not this way, but when I came to the jail, I was really upset, very intolerant before the class, no, with in the entrance. So it showed me in what cases I'm very intolerant, no. So I work on it a lot. So I also work on my pranayama and also the acceptance to see that I have also this part, no, that we can be reactive, all of us, no. So
I was remembering that when I started the Seva, the first time I went with you to the jail.
yes,
and, yes, and around that time we started giving classes also to the police and to the administration people. And then when we would leave and we would share the car, share the ride to go, we would do a pull, we would always talk on the way back. And it was like, did you realize that? And this happened, and that also. And did you see what happened when we did this? And we were really amazed with how the work, the yoga work on the police woman. We were really, and I think the possibility of sharing and of going together was what like brought me into the group's energy, because we would share every time on the way back. And I also on a different level, I also wanted to share that one of the routes that we use to go into the jail is the Catholic route. We in Peru, most of us are Catholic, and religion is a very strong institution. Catholic religion is a very strong institution. And in most, one very important person that has done a lot of work in jails in Peru, his name is Hubert Lancier. He was a French priest, and he worked in jails for all his life. He would work very close hand with the inmates and spend a lot of time in jails. And that is how Carlos came to work into jails. He was and so that has been our venue to go in. But just as it was our venue to go in, it is also a resistance that we find, because many people that come to our class don't want to be changed in their religion. They think yoga, Kundalini Yoga, is a religion. So sometimes we need to make that distinction. Every time when I open up with a new group, I always have that talk, and I say that Kundalini Yoga is not a religion. That they can still be Catholic, or be more Catholic than ever. That Kundalini Yoga is going to give them a deeper experience of their own religion. That it's going to give them a deeper experience of spirituality, and that they don't need to fight both practices. That but we need to go deep into that theme, because some of them also, because they are in jail, have taken religion as a as a way of surviving. So they get very polarized into the religion they have taken. So they don't want anything to take them off that path. So it's interesting how those we need to clarify those things. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, any other questions? We'll give a couple. Oh, Sujan.
Phone. Okay, thank you, Supram. At least I want to know, I don't remember where of your team, but someone make me mentioned that in Paraguay, in a prison, they were interested in doing a Seva like this. That was last year. I don't remember anymore. And I have you thought about the possibility as a team to train or share the experience so that other groups or countries can think of a similar Seva? I mean, like a training or something like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujan. We never think about it, but we can do it. We are open to share and to be there for another. So it will be very nice if this person of Paraguay will speak with us. We will really open to express our experience.
Like a mentoring, like
Yes.
accompanying their own process.
Mhm.
Sure. I mean, this I'm more than sure that everybody in our group would be so happy to share, so happy that that other countries in Latin America or around the world want to go into this, and also Supran. Now that we that was a
surprise.
Surprise, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So maybe we can reach also to you, Supran, and with questions and experiences. Yes, I think that the benefit and the gift of Seva and of Seva in this kind of situations needs to be shared and needs to be spread. And as Santok said earlier, many times we wonder if the gift is more for us than for them, because it permits us to go deeper into our practice, into our souls, into what we think in the person that we think we are. Right? It deconstructs the person we think we are.
And I think also that it will be very interesting to speak with this group of Paraguay one another, because always in our experience we develop or we learn a lot of things. For example, at the beginning, we always, when we give a class, we went by couples. So for a class, we went two teachers. One was teaching and the other was like looking, because we was like a little bit not afraid but not comfortable also. So it take a lot of years just to decide that I can go alone, no? So in this process you have a lot of inconvenience, so it's interesting if someone tell you, we do that, you can do that, or just to speak about it, no? Because it's a very different way of teaching and a very different space, no?
Okay, thank you so much again for sharing, and we'll have a couple of opportunities to contact you or Seva directly. There is a form to join Seva mailing list. Narayan Inder, do you have that link to share in the chat?
Yes.
Okay, so the link to sign up for the mailing list for Seva Core for this project and other projects, or to apply to share your Seva project also. There's the link for that. And you can find email connections there, I think, also, right, Narayan Inder, to contact you, to be in touch with Guru Shabad or Santok Kar through that link also. Okay. And so we have a short time for some wrap-up statements. If you'd like to share some more in closing, Guru Shabad and Santok.
I think we already. Estás sin. You are without sound, Guru Shabad.
Thank you, Narayan. Yeah. Okay. We wanted to close the meeting on first thanking you for having us and for giving us the opportunity to share, because every time we share, we get new understandings, we find new venues, and we grow also. For example, this mentoring possibility that Sujan brought up, it's very powerful, and yeah, it's a new opening up new space. So thank you all for this possibility.
Guru Shabad, there's also one more question in the chat. If you'd like to answer it, do you have any practices you do prior to entering into an institutional space to step into a stronger yet open space for yourselves to offer your teachings?
Yeah, thank you. We have not, we as a group, like the Sevadars, have not, we don't have like something we need to do, like I don't know how you say it, like something preordained or prepared. But I think each one of us knows that we have to sustain our personal practice, and that day more than ever, you have to have your practice in order for your energy to be at its best, because you know, we are a different person each day. We also have personal lives, but just to make the best of yourself whenever you're there, and to, as Santok said, be very present at the time, that to know that the challenges that spring up are a possibility also, right? So we don't have like something set up beforehand, but I think each one of us knows that it's a big responsibility, and that we need to sustain our personal practice to sustain others, to be there for others. What do you think, Santok?
I think two another things, it's very important to cover your head. Very important to cover with and I always, after the teachings, I always take a shower, just to clean, because it's there's a very strong energy that you are sustained. So I help myself with water, also with a practice before, but I add these other two things.
Yeah. So before the question, I wanted to refer, like to think about the idea of jail, to think about the idea of being imprisoned, and with that, maybe give my closing speech. because we had been talking about earlier on the preparation for this meeting, we had been talking about just this, no? Well, where is jail? If jail is a physical or if it's a place in our minds. And what are we prisoners of? And each one of us is a prisoner of different things. Maybe some of them we share. We are prisoners of fear. We are prisoners of greed. We are prisoners of anger. And so the question, many times people, they ask, what do they have to heal? The people that are in prison. And what we feel is that we all have to heal the same wounds, some in more, maybe more strongly, but every one of us has to overcome an aspect of our own minds, of our own prisons, and to I think to be in that place of thinking that we all are trapped in a way, gives us a glimpse of what the others are undergoing and what we call the others. Who are the others? The others are not only the inmates, maybe your best friend, maybe your mother, maybe yourself. You are the other, right? And not putting that distance between us and the inmates. And so be like more close to ourselves and to them. Yeah.
I would like to add that at the beginning of the Seva, I thought working in this Seva was something that I do to help others. With the time, I discovered that it helped me a lot and it's transformed me, and everything is circular. So what you offer to the others comes back to you. And something important not to forget it, that also instructors and students teach and learn at the same time, no? So for me, it was very important to discover that every coin have two faces. So in these two faces, I, you, and everyone have like shadows and lights, no? And it's beautiful to realize that we are both of them, no? That we have this important to accept, and when you accept that you have shadows and lights, it's more easier to recognize and respect the lights and shadows from the other ones. So I think that it's very important to realize.
Yeah, it's very important for societies to have these spaces, and yeah, I was thinking as a country, and how good it would be if more people could be in these Seva or helping spaces to be more human, to or at least have these moments of like, oh, okay, a different perspective. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like reconfiguring you and the place you think you stand on. Yeah, it shakes you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much again for sharing your experience and for all of your Seva work in Peru. And thank you all for joining us today for this talk. And it will be a little bit of a break now in the Equinox schedule. And the next class will be with Japa Carr at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, and work on the meridians, it looks like. So please join us back again at that time. And please also consider a donation to support the work of 3HO. We're offering this work free to serve the needs of our community, but welcome your donations and support. A gift of any size will make a difference and will help provide the resources for future offerings such as this inspiring event. And you can find that donation link in the chat. And also, if you scroll up a little bit, you'll find the website information to join the Chai and Chat mailing list, and also to learn more information on the Kundalini Yoga for Incarcerated Women in Peru information, and also some contact information there if you'd like to contact us. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll have the microphones open for any last comments that you'd like to share or just to say hello. Please feel free to.
I wanted to ask Narayan if maybe you will share later on through the 3HO web the recording of this meeting.
Yes, I think you will receive at your email, right, Sukran, the link with the recording of this meeting.
Yes, they'll be available for everyone that registered for the event, and also the other classes that were offered. And you'll receive an email within a week after the event, probably.
Great.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I
very
had
much.
many people that wished they could have been present, and they asked for the recording. So yeah,
Another benefit of Zoom.
Yes.
it took us some time, but we learned. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Guru Shabad and Santo Cor, Supram, everyone who is here. Thank you. The conversation is really, your project is inspired me a lot to think about how Seva is a powerful tool to transform realities, transform cultures, entire cultures. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
for the
for-
opportunity. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye then.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
Santok. Bye.
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 Thank you, Satnam.
Thank you so much.